Hello, Nigerian youth. It is a great, with a great sense of duty that I come before you again today as we advance in the new impetus and the new search and move for national ethos, which you have all gotten involved in. In our continuing discussions on the youth voices for the 2023 general elections in Nigeria, I bring to you today a new theme, which is using the March 18 governorship and state houses of assembly elections to prove your point. In the last broadcasts on the election, we dwelt on what can or we Nigerian youth do if the elections are rigged or annulled. As we predicted, everybody is crying blue blood in Nigeria except the criminals, that the elections are rigged. And there's confusion in the land. And I see that the Nigerian youth feel a little bit confused right now. I know that through different channels, the voices of Nigerian youth has been rising. And this is highly commendable. Speaking on the team today, I would like to tell the Nigerian youth that they have already started making obvious impact, making statements, bringing their voice to be heard. The fact that Nigerian youth can speak loudly with impact today has been proven by two major recent incidents in Nigeria's checkered history. First, the October 2020 Nigerian youths protested the evil killing machine of the evil Nigerian establishment, the Special Anti-Robbery Squad called SARS. They took the bullets, they died for it, their blood was spilled, and the spilling of blood in the building of nations is a necessary and an unavoidable consequence of wanting to have things done right. Secondly, on February 25, 2023, the Nigerian youth again spoke with a loud voice. You spoke up through the ballot boxes in the presidential and national assembly elections. You took the bullet for it, you died for it, and saw some corrupt governors fail to make it to the National Assembly, which they had hitherto considered or they now see as their birthright. That after they steal and rob the state for 8 years, they have to come to the National Assembly to hide, to keep the evil immunity clause, which they use to keep this country down, making it look like it is okay to come, steal the country blind, rape everybody in it, and get away with it right straight into the Senate. I counted already, I'm sure there will be more than that. I've counted already 4 governors who have lost their bid to the Senate. And that is because the Nigerian youth spoke up. In this election, we have seen the hand of corrupt, it's not independent, but corrupt dependent National Election Commission. If in the fact that they could brazenly, in this brazen show of immorality, announce another party as winner. No one, including the rogue political class of Nigeria, and I have created an acronym for them, RPCN, rogue political class of Nigeria, is in doubt of the impact that you, the Nigerian youth, made in this election. Even as they have stolen the mandate temporarily for now, they are now so afraid of you. And I think we can see their fear. And that is the reason why this election that was originally scheduled for the 11th of March, which is on Saturday, has now been moved to 18th of March. This is a sign of fear of what you have done, Nigerian youth, at this time in these elections, this election season. Now, the intention of these postponements, the intention of the rape of democracy we just witnessed on the 23rd or 25th of February, all of that are considered to bring you down, to reduce your ability to stand for what is right and to fight for the Nigeria that you dream about and desire. So, the March 18, 2023 governorship election and state house assembly elections in Nigeria is another opportunity not to be missed. Nigerian youth should not miss this opportunity. No, you should not accept any failure. You should not accept any going back. In the October, November of 2020, Nigerian youth started a march. That march must continue until you have the Nigeria that you want. If you stop now, the enemy has won, so you cannot stop. So the March 18, 2023 governorship election and for state house assemblies also in Nigeria is an opportunity not to be missed. You cannot miss it. The Nigerian youth, if you are not part of the 200 million mumu of Labaja, you must come out again to make the statement by choosing candidates who are not connected to the rogue political class of Nigeria. Yes, the RPCN, the rogue political class of Nigeria. You must choose candidates whose identities are not clearly identified to these two political parties that have done nothing except to rape Nigeria in the last 20 or so years, since 1999 to be precise. The impact of your voice on March 18, 2023 will be the raising of your voice to the third degree within 4 years of your decade of reclamation. And I'm creating this. Beginning from 2020, you began a decade of reclamation to reclaim what belongs to you. The Nigeria belongs to the youth, not to people from my age and those much older who are robbing, raping, and destroying the country. It does not belong to these septuagenarians. It does not belong to these people who are almost 90 years and they are claiming to be 70. I mean, this is not their country anymore. These are people who by natural law, not your law, it is not your wish for them, but by natural law, they have lived, they have done theirs, they need to get out. And they have done a lot of evil in the process. If they have done so much good, one would say, okay, why don't you keep these good old people around? But these people have proven to be nothing but witches. And according to all the nature, all the laws, even in the scriptures, suffer not the witch to live. You will not raise your own hand to kill these people. They're going to kill themselves, but you need to take away your national life from their hands, because as they are racing towards the grave, they will take you along with them if you keep them in power in the country. So your decade of reclamation started in 2020 with the SARS protests. You got to continue that journey. You have made another special impact on the 25th of February, forgetting that Mahmoud and his rogue INEC establishment had that, could brazenly demonstrate that immorality of announcing the result that I announced. Just do not allow that to be your problem at this time. Know that with NSAS, you started your decade of reclamation, of taking back your country. This is what is important. So this is not the time to lag or feel frustrated because of what INEC did. That their rape and roguish announcement of the election results should not put you down. Instead, it should be the fire that will make you to get to the street and fight more this time. 18th March is the day. If you will only come out in mass and vote for people who are not connected to the RPCN, the rogue political class of Nigeria, if you can just do that on the 18th, it will make a point. It will establish your point, the point of your election. Remember, the result of that election is already going to be contested. And the public opinion, the judges, everybody involved, the world are going to find out if it is true that you actually made a statement that you are leaving the rogue political class of Nigeria to a new class. So I invite all Nigerian youth to wake up to this election coming up on the 18th of March and to use it to create a new level in your emerging self-realization and the advancement of your work in your decade of reclamation. Remember, you have to work for this, even unto the actualization of the Nigeria that you desire. So join me every week on the African Town Hall platform to discuss, raise your voices, and strategize. We are broadcasting live on 3 channels as we speak. On my Facebook page on Facebook, on the African Town Hall page on Facebook, on the YouTube channel, which is also called the African Town Hall, and on my personal profile on LinkedIn. I want you to, if you are joining from any of these groups, excuse me, to do everything that you can to raise your voices today. Let me share with you a number of ways you can raise your voices. I've shared a link on Facebook. And if you follow this link on Facebook, both in my page and in several groups that has Nigerian youth on them, if you click that link, you can join me in the studios so you can raise your own voice and speak about these matters. That's one way. Another way is to leave a comment from whatever channel you are joining. Leave a comment, your thoughts, say what you want to say, and ask any question. And, don't be nice to me. If you think what we are embarked on is foolish, say it. And if you think it is right, say it. If you think it has any merit, advertise the merit. So let those comments keep coming from the African Town Hall page on Facebook, from my personal profile on LinkedIn, and from the African Town Hall channel on YouTube, and anywhere else that you may be coming from, because we have shared this in several platforms. So speak by joining me, clicking the link I sent there, and speak by leaving a comment, speak by asking questions. We are happy to invite one of us who have raised a voice very, very strongly in these occasions and all that have been going on for some time now in the Nigerian election, a viral Nigerian youth, Comrade Precious Ejiogu. And we'll invite Precious Ejiogu to the studios now to make his own comments concerning what we have on hand today, which is the need for the Nigerian youth to, in spite of everything, come out to vote on 18th March. Precious, welcome to the studios. Unmute yourself and then come on to the studios, Precious.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you. So I'm sure Nigerian youth has it's kind of demoralized as we speak. I don't know. I can feel the vibes. I can feel the anger. I can feel their thoughts going on in all several fora on social media. And I have phone calls and I have text messages and emails that say, hey, what are we going to do? What is the best way forward? But you are one of the youth. You are the people we are talking about. So March 18 is the new date for the governorship and state houses of assembly elections in Nigeria. What are your thoughts?
My thoughts naturally initially we me as a person lost courage and due to how the whole process went through and initially we were having this confidence in the entire process and things didn't really go the way it's ought to go because of certain features or some certain factors that had to play. But nevertheless, as a youth, definitely I'll be discouraged, which I was. But I should be civilized enough to accept whatever outcome, how it comes. So I believe that every individual, especially within the youth age bracket, should be able to be civilized enough to accept what has come to play. But one interesting thing and one thing that is so excited at this particular point in time is that because of the kind of energy that the youth has come to play, especially in the Nigerian politics at this time, it has brought so many changes. You can see that so many political class are now conscious, knowing that so many things that is looked away before is no longer, people are now involved. Normally, if it's before during the election period, by now would have ended everything. All of us would just go and mind our business. But because of from the SARS process that the youth started raising up their voice from the presidential and House of Rep and Senate election, now you come to find out that the youth has we are all out because we feel that this is our own country and we need to protect it. But because of the wrong practices, because of the corruption that have eaten so much deep in our system, and things had to fall the way it has to go. So, though naturally I feel bad, but I won't be discouraged. The governorship election is just a week after now. So I think I have to also come and raise my voice just as it was raised during the presidential election. And because of I felt I made an impact, even if my choice candidate did not was not announced as president elect. But I believed I've seen some changes in the system, knowing that it's because of a voice was raised. So I know that the governorship election and other vacancies that are coming up in a few weeks' time, in a week time, is another opportunity for me to air and show my my opinions, and I'll do that through the legal system, which is the voting system. So I think as a Nigerian youth, we should be able to be civilized enough to accept whatever outcome or whatever result that has been published by the national identity, INEC. INEC has done their own. I know it is not easy to conduct election in a vast country, especially in a country that is multiple in ethnicity, religion, and the rest of the whole factors that is playing on in this election. But nevertheless, we have come to understand that yes, INEC is really not giving us that fairness that they promised us. We are really not. We are sensing that there are a lot of errors that are played into the entire process. But as a youth, what are we going to do? We are going to be careful while we
Let me cut you in there. What happened with INEC? Are they errors or deliberate failure to stand on the facts of the election? You know, the facts of the election is about the different results collected at the polling booths. Those are the facts of the election. Now, according to all the information that is going out, the result that is announced at the final collation does not reflect the what happened in the polling booths. So, is that a mistake or is it a deliberate act of rigging? The youth need to, say what their own truth about this is, and it needs to be loud and clear. So I want you to comment on that. Is that a mistake or is it deliberate rigging?
I think from my observation, especially from my own polling unit, my polling unit is Ward 2, you know, they are all unit 13. Now, from what I can only say from my own end, what I observed during my own voting process in my own unit. Now, these INEC officials, they came late. Election that is supposed to start by 8:30, they were able to come by to 1 in the afternoon. And when they came by to 1, election is supposed to be from 8:30 to about 4 o'clock, as INEC said. But they came by to 1, and in my polling unit, we are having over 1,000 voters that were on ground that was ready to vote. And then we were able to capture about 200 and something voters were successful. That means there were several persons that were on ground having their voters card but couldn't vote. Now, the INEC official, one of the INEC officials now raised an alarm that they called them. This was around 4 o'clock in the evening. That he received a call that they should stop the entire process. That they are meant to stop the entire process immediately. And we're all on ground saying that, but we have not voted. And several persons, I posted some videos, I have to start doing video immediately. We are not voted. We are differentializing us. We are denying us our rights. They were like, they received a complaint that they should stop voting. There was no violence. It's not that there were anyone attacking the INEC officials. In fact, there was no any. This is the most interesting part. There was no INEC official in my polling unit. It was only the alcohol staff and the core members. No INEC officials. Now, when they finally succeeded by saying that others that are ready to vote are not going to vote, we were like, okay, count the result. Then they were able to count the result. APC was having about 17 votes for my polling unit, while Labour Party was having about 180-something votes for my polling unit. PDP was having about 20-something votes. Now, we asked them, could you please upload the results? From the Electoral Act, we learned that results will be uploaded from polling units. And this was what the core member read to us before we started the process. And the young lady was now saying that she doesn't have the password, that they have to go to the town hall where all of them will have to gather, then upload the result at the same time. We have to escort her again, picking all the materials to the town hall where we have other INEC officials. There was no INEC official in that town hall. It was only actual staffs and the core members. And the same complaint that I'm having in my polling unit is the same complaint other polling units are also having. Some persons are saying that they couldn't upload their results. And at the end of the day, the results were announced, and we come to find out that, okay, what we actually voted is not what is being announced. So I think it was
that is not a mistake. I need you to observe something clear here. That's not a mistake. That is systematic rigging. Systematic rigging. Before the elections, we heard that they want to make sure that no elections hold where the opposition has stronghold. That is one thing that happened in your state in particular. And it's not just your state, in several other states. Once they notice that, okay, these people are likely to win in so places, they make sure the elections didn't quite hold and that the turnout is, the people are disenfranchised. And that's systematic rigging. That's not a mistake. Or what do you think? Is that still a mistake in your mind?
For me, I feel that it's a planned job. They have planned it that they are going to do it that way. But unfortunately, I don't know, I feel that the opposition party also did not play a very good role. I know that they are supposed to send representatives to each polling unit. And in each polling unit, their representatives, especially party representatives, are supposed to pick results of their polling units. So the opposition party also never played a good role. They are supposed to have sent representatives to these polling units to also take results manually for them. So when these results are being brought, they have to compare it while this result is being announced. So for me,
Okay,
I think
let me ask you a question there before you conclude on that point. Does it mean okay, were the results ever computed, finished on paper, and the different copies of the paper shared to polling agents? Was it ever done in the listing, or did they collect everything and go to the town hall?
they collected all the results and went to the town hall. Then the one of the Labour Party agents that came much later was like, okay, you guys will have to give me one of the result sheets. I think the ad hoc staff that was in charge of the whatever he was in charge of removed one of the result sheet and gave to the this party agent, and we're like, okay, since you don't want us to vote, would you please destroy? We also persuaded them to destroy the other materials. That there were a lot of ballot papers and they are asking us not to vote. And why they stopped our own unit, there were also other units who were still continuing the process. They were still voting, and we're like, why did you have to stop our units? And there are also other units who are still voting. They were like, they received call, they say that they have accredited so many persons, because they accredited more than 200 persons, and they were like, I received a call that we should stop now because of. I said, there is no violence, no one is attacking you, everyone is peaceful, everyone is on the line, everyone is on the queue. Then why would you have to stop the process? So I think
Okay.
it's a whole lot of arrangement. We didn't see this coming.
Yeah, I think it is systematic rigging, and that has been part of the Nigerian system for a long time, and it has continued because Nigerian youth are not speaking. Now that Nigerian youth is speaking out, I assure you this is going to kind of begin to change. So there's one aspect I want us to drive at. What has happened is demoralizing. It is demoralizing. It doesn't matter how strong you are, how strong you are to cause. Then what happened is demoralizing. Can you mute yourself a little bit?
Okay.
All right. So, I don't know why I'm having some echoes here, but whatever it is, the point that I want to make is that what happened is systematic rigging, but the real benefit of this rigging to the opposition, to those who don't want the good of Nigeria, is that it will make the Nigerian youth not to come forward again. So I want both of us to raise our voice everywhere we are to the fact that 18th March is important and people should go and vote again the way they voted before. And the target will be to ensure that people connected to the rogue political class or RPCN, rogue political class of Nigeria, should not be voted in. Youth can see to that. They need to make that statement. Okay, so let's pursue another angle before we close today's broadcast. Seeing all that has happened, do you think that Nigeria is worth fighting for?
Well, see all that has happened. If I think Nigeria is worth fighting for, we have come a long way. Nigerian has lost its identity, so far I'm concerned. There are so many things that we have done that are wrong. And I believe that there are so many things that we can do that are right. The most interesting part is that
we must come out. We must come out and participate in the process. Yes, we have been discouraged enough, but for me personally, I still have hope that Nigeria will someday get it right. But when that will happen, I don't know. But I know that the steps that especially the youth have taken at this particular time, coming out in their full force, making decisions for themselves, and knowing that this country is our own. If we do not, if we do not, if we do not fight for our country, nobody fights it for us. If we do not get back the Nigerian identity that we have lost, nobody gets it for us. I don't think it's time that we start seeking help from the European Union, from this, from that. It is time we need to come back to our own country and begin to think, what are those strategies? What are those things that we need to do, even as Nigerian youth? So I feel, as personally, I feel that there is hope. There is still hope.
Now, what that means, what your statement means is that the Nigerian youth cannot stop now.
We can't stop now. We have gone far.
They made a statement in February 2023. They need to make a statement on the 18th of March, and they need to not stop going forward. Do you buy that? Is that your line?
Yes, please. Because we have gone too far to go back. It is not possible. They are from the NSAS voice that was started to this point. If you tend to go back, then the journey is too far to go back. So I don't think going back is an option.
Okay, thank you. Do we not also feel that there's need to not accept the electoral result of February 25, 2023? Not accept it and to prepare yourself and go and challenge it to the highest, to the Supreme Court if necessary?
For me, as a youth, personally, I stand and I do not accept the result being announced by INEC, especially for the presidential election. I do not accept. If there are processes that is being neglected, especially in a country that is diversified in this form, it is not an acceptable form that INEC should have elect without going through the entire process of its own electoral act. So personally, I do not accept the presidential election that is being announced.
Okay, thank you. This is where we call it off for today. We need to just be conscious of the fact that this is just the beginning. And the Nigerian youth, if they are not going to continue to be 200 million mumu, according to Labaja, not me, where they need to speak up, they need to go to each election, they need to discharge their own franchise, and then they need to collect evidence, if there's evidence, and they need to be prepared to go to court. Nigerian youth should be in all the court proceedings for that presidential election. If they are not, they are abandoning the fight. That's the last statement I would like to make for us today. Do you have a final word?
Well, for me, of course, every Nigerian youth that have evidence is being advised to make themselves available in court. But sometimes, because of the situation of the country now, especially this cash policy, not everyone can have access to Abuja, the Supreme Court, where the whole ruling is being taken place. So our advice, even there should be a body that is set to have investigated this issue locally, that everyone that have something to say, especially those in Abuja, every youth in Abuja should please visit the court. But for those of us that are far away from this federal capital territory,
there should be a channel that we can air out our view and also give out our own point of statement, because we want to also contribute to see justice being served in Nigeria. So every youth in Nigeria, especially even me myself, I myself will want to contribute, see justice happen in Nigeria. We want to see it happen. So I believe that every youth in Nigeria that feel that Nigerian can be better should be able to contribute his or her own quota to make sure that we get it right. It will take time, but I know that we'll definitely get it right.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much.
We appreciate your being able to make
We
it
appreciate
here
your
today and the comments that you have made.
and the comment that
Thank you, sir.
We invite Nigerian youth, wherever they are, to know that this is their time. This is the time they must make a statement. The process has just begun. It's a long walk. It's a long fight to establish order in a society, to create the right kind of order. Many societies that are progressing today have to fight and spill blood for several years for their own. But because of the modern times and the social media, we don't need a bloody fight, but we just need a continuing voicing, contribution, and being able to follow the process, go to the courts if necessary, be there every day if necessary, and provide the information we have at our disposal concerning the election from the different places where it happened, and then justice will come. Justice will come. The fact that in Nigeria, we know that our judges are corrupt, but we have also known that they have not been able to run away from overwhelming evidence. And the Nigerian youth owe it to themselves to provide that overwhelming evidence. Precious says something. Those at the front of trying to get justice for the February 25, 2023 presidential elections should have a committee or a place, a bureau, somewhere that the different youth of Nigeria can, without leaving where they are, through their phones and laptops, forward all the evidence they have, which they will spend their time. They need time and money to process this and take the ones that will help show the judges what happened. That is very necessary for the presidential election. But for today, and the reason for which we are here, the most important is the forthcoming governorship and state houses of assembly elections. This election are now moved from March 11 to 18 is by voter. This is the time for the Nigerian youth to say no to the rogue political class of Nigeria. Do not vote anybody who is connected to this rogue political class. We are not looking for them, for information for them. We know who they are. Go away from that. Don't mind that some of them are your brothers. Do not vote for them. An overwhelming vote for people outside the rogue political class in the governorship election and in the state houses of assembly election will make a statement. It will prove your point, the point you made on the 25th of February. This is very important. And I would like to commend Nigerian youth for standing out for this. Let me say this. I have said many predictive things in my life, things I have said both in my professional work and as just a person, telling people this is coming. Here is what is coming. If we do not use 2023 to reset Nigeria, we will lose it. I know I asked Precious a pointed question on whether he thinks Nigeria is worth fighting for. He said he was worth fighting for. I want to assure you that that worth fighting for will end if you do not use 2023 to reset the country. This is the last chance. And I want to say this on authority of knowledge, not of any plan that I have, but a deductive reasoning that I have very good training in. And I have watched nations and countries evolve in my life. And I have watched Nigeria from cradle come to the point where it is right now. The cup is filled. It's about to spill. But we can stem the tide by the Nigerian youth raising their voice, joining forces, doing everything they can to ensure that 2023 becomes what it is, pivotal year, landmark year, a year when you must say your say. Thank you very much for being with us today. And Precious, we want to close at this point. Do you have something else you wanted to add?
We'll see everybody on March 18th.
That is a good one. That's a good one. Let's meet all Nigerian youth on March 18th. Thank you and goodbye.
Thank you.